All
Oh, I gotta know what you think.
right. Sorry about that. I was briefly laying down for a second there before I turned the stream on. 1 second.
That's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to put Napoleon discussion in the stream title. Not that I really consider it to be a spoiler. Oh, right guy, thank you for the resub. Because it's based off a true story. Like, I think it would be fucking weird if I was talking about the Napoleon movie and people were like, oh, yo, dude,
Right.
spoilers. Like, it's fucking Napoleon's
Ex
200-year-old story.
exactly. Like, the Winston Churchill movie that, Gary Oldman did, I'd use that as an example. It's something of an historical movie that doesn't cover his whole life, but the specific segment of his life, his professional life and everything. But you're exactly correct. You know, you can't do spoilers where they're like, "Oh, yeah, spoilers for for the movie Darkest Hour. It turns out that Winston Churchill did not surrender to the Nazis." You know, you can't spoil it that way, but what you could do is bring up characters that were originally invented for the movie and then spoil their story, but, like, who the fuck cares? They weren't a real person.
Right.
Just like,
So,
"Oh, yeah, that person who wasn't real, they die at the end of the movie." Like, who cares?
all right. So, I do think it was pretty good. I was generally fairly happy with it.
Allow
Um,
me to set
a
the stage.
pretty
A
significant part of the
train
movie
line in
concerns his relationship
presumably
with
precious
Josephine,
containers carrying
who,
commodities
which,
that
I
we
mean, I
rely
think
on.
this is something that most
Spider-Man and that new
big budget
vigilante.
movies do now
Oh,
because
did I
it's
just
much
spoil the
cheaper
play?
to deal
Can
with
you
a
see where this is
relationship
going?
romance
I
drama
feel
than
sorry
show
for
a
anyone
bunch of
awaiting
action
a shipment
scenes.
today. It's
So
not
there's a lot of
coming.
focus
You know who
on
to thank.
Napoleon and Josephine,
Explosions rocked the line.
which I was
Trains were
expecting,
derailed, almost colliding with
more
an
or less.
apartment complex. A
And
local community
I
group
don't think that
was
stuff was
injured.
super
The
compelling,
followers
but it
of the
was all
flame,
right.
I'm
It
not
was
here to
fine, I
judge,
guess.
were mercilessly
Um,
attacked by
I
Spider-Man.
don't agree with
From the
some of these
rumblings
people
I've
saying that the
heard,
whole movie
there's
sets
a
out
new
to make
commando
Napoleon
in
look
Spider-Man's
stupid or
army.
something.
They
He
go by
makes a couple
rank.
mistakes near the
Now, I
end, and
can't
he is
say for certain
he does have an
what the
ego,
inciting
but
incident was.
overall,
I
I
find
think
it
that
hard
part
to
is being
believe these
drastically
followers were there to cause
overstated.
harm. More than likely, they
Um,
were having a
Let me see
peaceful
here.
ceremony.
So,
Perhaps they could have chosen a different location.
I
Who
don't
is
like the way
Spider-Man
the
to come
movie
in
was
and break
edited
it up?
that much. It
He's
jumps
infringing on
around
our
in
rights
time
and
from
destroying
year to year to
commerce.
year to
In the
year
process, folks,
very
we
quickly.
need to keep redrawing
It's
the line
like,
because
okay, the very
Spider-Man
first scene in
and
the
company
movie
keep
is
stepping
Marie
over it.
Antoinette getting
What's the next
beheaded,
freedom you expect Spider-Man to threaten?
which happened in, I think,
I'm awaiting your call.
1793 or something like that. And then the very next scene is, let me make sure I get the name right here. I don't want to mess this up. Napoleon winning the siege of Toulon, I think is how you pronounce it. Um,
Neat.
Toulon, excuse me, Toulon. The siege of Toulon, which I think happened 4 years later. I could be wrong about that, but it's kind of an awkward jump from that first scene to that second scene. Like, there's no real hint that a lot of time has passed. And that happens quite a bit throughout the film. It makes things feel a little bit jumpy. Oh, real quick, Drop Top. I used to bet on sports a ton, but I live in Washington State, and they've really cracked down on that stuff. So I don't do. As of right now, I barely do it. I would like to. I like betting on sports a lot, but Washington State doesn't permit for it. There are a lot of really strong shots in the movie. I think that was probably the strong point. I like the way the movie looks on a cinematography level. I think there are a lot of very strong looking shots in the movie. I did like that. I think that the performance of the two leads was fine, but I don't think there was anything too remarkable about it, which is kind of disappointing because it's Joaquin Phoenix, and you would think he would be the big thing that you want to see in this movie, and I don't think that really happens. I think he's better in Gladiator. I
burglars
think
are
he's
almost
better
inside.
in a lot of movies that
You guys live here?
and this movie he's
that's-
fine, but he's just kind of like there, you know?
That's a real
Where'd those
disappointment to
symbiotes
hear.
come from?
Like, again, I don't think he was bad. I just think he was just kind of there for the most part. But again, I think that, you know, a lot of people are criticizing that, oh, the whole movie is designed to make Napoleon look stupid. I mean, they do at the very end kind of allude to the fact that, you know, a lot of people died because of his actions. They're like, the death toll of all of the battles he oversaw combined was over 3 million Frenchmen. And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess that's true. I just don't know if that conveys what you want it to convey necessarily. But it's, like for instance, there's a lot of drama made throughout this film about how Napoleon wants an heir and Josephine isn't getting pregnant, and they don't know whose fault it is. And not knowing the story of Napoleon, I thought they were building up the whole thing to have Napoleon be impotent, and they were gonna make it like, haha, Napoleon's PP is small or something. But no, it was her fault. He's actually very viral. He produces like a bunch of kids, I think, when he actually gets a mistress or gets a wife rather. But you know, it wasn't haha, Napoleon's penis doesn't work or anything like that. So that kind of surprised
now I
me.
just jinxed myself.
And I think the battle scenes were good. There were like 4 of them, I think, and they're done pretty well. Again, I feel like that these things have gotten so expensive for these movies to do that they can't do it as much and make it look as good as they used to be able to. Things just cost too much now. But I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. So I'd say it was pretty good. It's not, you know, the modern day Gladiator or anything like that, which is, I think, what some people were hoping for. But I'd say that was pretty good.
What you do is say it was above average for a movie, but a lot of people were expecting more from a Ridley Scott production that featured Joaquin Phoenix in the lead.
Probably, yeah.
So it doesn't underdeliver as a movie, it just underdelivers because there's a lot of star power involved with the people who made it, and they were capable of better, but it seemed like they just sort of, you know, they made a capable movie, but they were certainly they had the potential to do a lot more.
Yeah, I don't feel like I came out of it really understanding how much of a genius Napoleon was. Like, okay, so at the start of the movie, he's a army officer. He's just kind of a whatever. He doesn't have really any power. He's not really well thought of by most people. He's just kind of a guy in the army. And then he wins the siege of Toulon, and then he's promoted to brigadier general. I'm like, oh, well, that happened quickly. I guess you only have to win one battle to become a brigadier general. I mean, I know France wasn't going through a very stable time at that point, but geez.
That's fairly unfortunate, because I mean, you do have to give the guy credit. He conquered Europe. Like,
There! Symbiotes are after those people!
couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah,
but,
and the movie does reflect that. Don't get me wrong. The movie does reflect that. But
That's right! Focus
like,
on
I
the
didn't come
big,
away
loud
feeling like I
Spider-Man.
understood what made him such a genius. Like, they say in the movie a few times that he understands how to win battles on land better than, like, the British did. And, you know, he feels like as long as the battles on land, I'm going to always have an advantage. I don't feel like I do why. Maybe I'm not capable of knowing why because I don't understand, like, military strategy that well. Like, maybe the movie would not have been able to explain that for any layperson to grasp. I don't know. That's totally possible. But I didn't come away feeling like I understood what made him such a genius with military tactics.
Well, I can completely understand that because it is difficult
Miles
to
needs me at
portray
City
that
Hall.
in a movie. What made him so successful as a general had a lot to do with logistics, and rapidity of movement. And I say that because... hold on a second. I don't like to burp into the microphone. It's gross. But,
Harry's been busy. Yeah. Well,
Other
the
nations'
Green Lantern was
militaries,
here.
they would essentially keep their army together in like one massive death stack.
This is somehow worse than I thought.
Napoleon would do is that he would split his army up into
You told me there were a bunch of civilians
many
trapped inside.
smaller forces,
Apparently they were using this place
and
as
he would
sectors
have
to
them
get out safe
spread
and
out
sound.
so that they could secure military objectives. They split up to cover more ground, that kind of thing. And a smaller force can move much faster. But he would also do it so that no unit would ever be further away from a reinforcing unit than a day's march. Because of this, anytime his enemy would try to jump on and attack, what they thought was a small, isolated detachment, that they could divide and conquer his army, it never worked because that one unit would be able to hold on for just long enough to get reinforcements, and then those guys would be able to hold on just long enough to get reinforcements, and on it goes until the enemy was completely outnumbered.
Yes, thank you for the 19 months.
Because they'd go and attack all at once. Not only that, but during the battle itself, they would also split up their force even more in order to engage in a military concept that's called defeat in detail, which is even if you're outnumbered by your enemy, let's say that you've got 10,000 guys and they've got 20,000 guys, and they split their group up into 4 evenly sized pieces of 5,000 guys, and they're sending them at you. If you split your army up into 4 equal sized pieces, you'd only have 2,000 guys. You'd get fucking whomped. What Napoleon would do instead is say, you know what, I'm gonna have 3 of these guys just be like 500 man units, and then I'm gonna throw everyone else into just that one 4th size that's gonna be fucking massive. And then, even though the overall force is outnumbered, he would be able to establish local superiority like that, destroy the enemy, and then after that singular detachment has been defeated, then they would go and assist the other units until eventually, while Napoleon had been outnumbered, he still would win. And it would be very heavy in terms of attrition on the enemy. With the excellence of the logistics that his military had and the rapidity of movement that I brought up, fighting the French, it seems like no matter what would happen, you would always be outnumbered. They would always be more fresh than your own forces were. They would always be better supplied. And they would always be in an area that was advantageous for them to fight in, even if, you were on the offensive. It seemed like no matter what you tried to do, you'd always be at a disadvantage. And it was because Napoleon was the first guy to ever do any of these kinds of things. So like I said, yeah, I can completely understand. That's really difficult to portray in a movie, especially because overarching concepts like that is just very boring in general. Not a lot of people are very interested in it. But that's what it comes down to. I see big countries talking about Dak might have overtaken Tua in the MVP race. I don't think that Tua really has a shot at winning MVP anymore, and it's not because I think the Dolphins are bad. It's not because I don't think Tua is the MVP. If you just talk simply what it ought to be considered, I really do think he should be in the race. I think he doesn't have right. I think he doesn't have a shot specifically because when it comes to all sports awards, not just MVP, but literally all of them, narratives matter. And the
going in
Dolphins,
with you.
with this narrative of they can't beat good teams, it's complete horseshit because the exact same problems run into, you know, like, people are still talking about Purdy being an MVP, and look at what the fucking Niners have done. You know? They're sitting there saying that Purdy's still in the race, meanwhile, they went on a 3-game losing streak when Christian McCaffrey got hurt.
Find Spider-Man.
And then they started winning
Stark
again
managed to
as
lead
soon
us
as he
to
comes
it.
back. And people are talking about Purdy being in the MVP race. It's ridiculous. But it's all about narratives. And you get what you get. And
Alright.
yeah, like JS
On
said,
our
it's
way.
basically just media
Where are
narrative
we?
power ranking.
We
Um,
inside Spider-Man's mind.
so even though the Eagles have
Seeing what
the
those
best
creatures do to people
record in
around
the
city.
league,
Getting
Jalen
mad.
Hurts doesn't have the narrative for his MVP
Mad they
case
stole your
going, so
routine?
he doesn't have
I
a
know
stand.
you're joking.
Even though if you would
You're making
look
my
at it by
point.
record, you'd be like, well, somebody on the Eagles should be getting talked about.
Use my
But
power for some
I mean,
reason.
I don't
Yeah.
think
No.
Hurts is playing that well anyway. He doesn't
We're the
deserve
only ones
it.
who can find where it
Narrative
is.
or no
So we
narrative.
clear this thing out at the root.
oh yeah, absolutely. He's
Spider-Man's
really
free?
struggled in a
That's
lot
the
of
plan.
different games.
All right, then.
Dak, I don't know if he should be in the discussion in terms of just considering outright excellent levels of play and what the MVP race ought to be. But I think he's absolutely in the race by virtue of the fact that he's quarterback for the Cowboys.
It has a stronger hold on him than I thought.
All right. Weaken the symbiote.
Yes, Big
Take
Country,
back
you're absolutely
control.
correct. Because
Use
his
our
team
powers
is
to save
bad,
Spider-Man.
and they also play in
Where do
an
we start?
awful division, Stroud
We have to
looks
find the source of
amazing
his
because
pain.
he's surrounded by bums and gets to feast
Follow
off
me.
of weak competition, but he's not
Try and lead you to
impressive
where
at
it's
all enough.
darkest. But I can't promise what
Yeah,
we'll
that's my
find.
issue with Dak. Like, Dak puts up elite numbers against garbage opponents, and when he played the Niners this year, he sucked the fat one.
Right,
Like, he beat
and
the crap out of the
it's
Giants, the Jets, the fucking Panthers. Like these are awful teams that he beats up on, and he pads his stats like crazy against them.
Is this?
right, and it's hilarious because people use that exact same argument
These are all
against
the people
Tua.
he's put
But as
away.
the season has gone on,
It makes
it's looked,
sense why
way
Spider-Man
worse
cares about
because
this
in games
place.
where they lose and in games where they're still playing very elite
Who's
competition,
protecting New York?
Tua is still getting his numbers. You know, his first bad game of the season really was tonight, but even
People
then,
don't know that.
you know, almost 300 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. That's basically your average Josh Allen stat line, and people talk about him like he's a top 3 quarterback in the league.
I think.
But yeah, like,
Yeah, QB play sucks right now. Like, if there was ever a year for a non-QB to win, it would be this year, but like, maybe if like somebody like TJ Watt ends up with like 25 sacks, it could be like, but
yeah, Tyreek was definitely on pace, but he fucked it up with a lot of really bad drops and
Never
fumbles,
thought I'd be relieved to see you.
which was so
Make it count.
inconsistent in terms of like fucking Tyreek Hill of all people fucking doing that, but like he, ugh. Especially that Chiefs game would have been a fucking win for us, which would have been huge if Tyreek didn't fuck it up.
God, nothing's working.
Not only had the
I can't
fumble,
follow
which
the
literally
network.
cost us the game just off that one fucking play,
Everyone he puts away, they keep coming back.
and he had another drop when we desperately needed a fucking first down.
Just for them to escape and cause more pain.
It's nowhere near like Chargers level of bad in terms of the drops, but it's
Believing
still
in
like,
second chances.
bro, you can't be trying to get people to vote MVP for a fucking wide
They
receiver
never stop.
and then play like that. That's just not allowed.
But yeah, I would say that the Napoleon movie was pretty good. I don't think it's, bringing cinema back. Like, to me, the best movie of the year so far is probably still Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and everything that you said is fair enough. Even though you made the movie sound a lot better than I was worried it would end up being, I still don't think I'm going to see it
Mhm.
because of what you did say, which really drastically turns me off of the film. Two things, which is one, they didn't really do a good job of showing you that Napoleon was a genius. And sitting there like, well, damn it, I literally wanted a movie that was gonna slobber all over him.
Yeah,
That's what I fucking
again,
wanted.
the way I put it is they say he's a genius, but they don't really show how. And I do think that's reasonable because I don't know how you would do that without boring the shit out of 99% of your audience, but
No.
maybe there's just no good
But
answer.
it might be how it feels.
Yeah, and
these villains.
that's another thing is that the
Really
the
don't
main
suit
reason
the song
Napoleon
at all.
failed, you know, and like the entire continent of Europe isn't just ruled by France to this day, is because he was not as good at the politics aspect as he was at the military aspect.
Debt.
He's definitely up there as one of the greatest military leaders that the world has ever seen. But he made really drastic mistakes politically. For instance, one of the main contributing factors to his military downfall was the Peninsular War, which is
Close.
when Spain rebelled against French rule, and then they fought a terrible guerrilla war against the French, which cost an insane amount of men and materials, and this was coming after the disastrous Russian campaign. So it stretched the French battle lines and logistics and absolutely everything completely to the breaking point. And since Spain borders France, it just gave Britain an actual invasion corridor to get into mainland France and end the war. The reason Spain rebelled is because Napoleon was so tired of dealing with their royal family that he said, you know what, fuck it, you guys aren't in charge anymore, my brother's the king of Spain now. That's a horrible fucking decision, but
Right.
he was just like, yeah, who's gonna stop me? I was like, oh dude, you can't do that. Come on.
Okay, well, the way the movie made it appear, to me anyway, having only seen it once, the way it came across to me was that in 1812, Napoleon invaded Russia, and they got to Moscow, and it was empty, and then the Russians burned Moscow down because they'd rather destroy it than have him have it. And because of that, there was like nothing for him to take, so he just had to leave back to France. And because, you know, he was caught off guard by that, a ton of his men died when they were trying to get back to France because they weren't prepared for the winter. And when he got home, the coalition forced him into exile because they were so mad at him for having so many of his men die under his watch. That's kind of how it came across in the film to me.
Sort of, but you know, obvious creative license being taken for the whole thing. The Russian military campaign was a complete disaster
Yeah.
because of exactly what you said, that they
Yes, it
burned
does.
Moscow to the ground. What happened is that it was the first major example of Russia using scorched earth defensive tactics in order to destroy their enemy supply lines, which worked like a fucking charm.
Looks like we're at feast.
You know, it wasn't general winter wins the day and the French all freeze to
Built my
death.
life around this
It
place.
was Russia literally burned down their entire country along the French invasion corridor, specifically so that they wouldn't have any food other than what they brought with them. And that sucks because the further you march into Russia, which is this huge,
Norman
vast
Osborn's the reason
fucking
my
tract of
parents are
land,
dead. So I dedicated my life
and
to
further and further away from your own supply line, so it's taking longer and longer for you to ship stuff that you need into the country, which is exactly what's fucked over everyone who's ever tried to
just
invade
might be
Russia.
able to save him.
He absolutely kicked the crap out of the Russians any fucking time that they fought, but then they just said, okay, we'll just keep running
portrayed
away.
in the movie as well. That is portrayed in the
Well,
film.
right. We'll just keep running away from the French advance until they eventually starve to death, which is exactly what fucking happened. Because this is also long before the days of any form of preservatives, so if you can't live off the land, then...
There has to be another
And
way.
like you said, then it came into the ego thing too, because Napoleon was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take Moscow, I'm gonna be the first
One
person to ever
more
take
option.
Moscow.
If I can
And he
transfer
did,
all of my power
but
into
there
the
was nothing
symbiote,
left, it didn't matter,
I
and
can neutralize it.
supply line's gone, so it's like, well,
Free
fuck.
Peter.
Yeah.
The invasion of Russia is what absolutely broke the back of
I guess we'll find out.
the French. Now, I brought up the Peninsular Wars being, like, really leading to the downfall. because
This is my
they
last
desperately
chance to say
needed
anything to
Spain securing their southern flank, and it was a horrible political move, and took
you. I won't
suddenly all the
forget it.
various different vassal states
It's
that
just
were
not in me.
subservient to France, and they're like, wait a minute, you're going to replace our royal family with your
I can't carry
brother?
this hate for you anymore,
Fuck
man.
that.
So let's set
But
things right.
I think it was something along the lines of
You and me.
600,000 Frenchmen were lost in the invasion of Russia, which is not losses that are able to come back from in the 1800s.
Right. And then you had his exile to Elba, and then he leaves his exile after almost a year to basically take his place as emperor again. It's actually kind of funny scene where he comes back to France after his exile, and the Fifth is all there to, like, you know, tell him to fuck off and go back to his exile. And then he's just like, hey guys, what's up? You guys want to fight with me again? And they all just go like, yeah. And then they all just run over to his side, and then they start marching on the reestablished monarchy, King Louis the Billionth or whatever the fuck.
Right. I don't know if well, go ahead and keep going.
It was
till
King
you-
Louis the 18th, I think. Go ahead.
I don't know if you'd
Yeah,
ever
like
heard
this.
the really funny thing. It was a Parisian-based
Why didn't you give me this
newspaper,
power sooner? I could have used it.
and just the changes in the headline from when Napoleon escaped until he finally conquers, reconquers France and is remade emperor again. And just the way that the headlines would change as it went on. Had you ever seen that one?
I have not.
I'm both for it now. French newspaper.
You okay, man?
I'm fine. Just
There
keep
was
fighting.
actually one amusing element of the film that was all around newspapers, though. Early in the movie, when Napoleon is taking Egypt, Josephine is cheating on him with some dude. I can't remember who. Some guy in the army. I can't remember his name. And Napoleon finds out, so he goes back to France to deal with it. And when he gets home, the fact that Josephine is cheating on him with some random dude is on the front page of a newspaper. And I think the headline even calls Napoleon a cuckold,
Nice.
and it pisses him off. And I was like, man, I thought that was something that only happened today with like modern tabloids and the internet, but I guess it
Basically. Yeah, Josephine was not good for our boy. It was exactly what you mentioned earlier, that she really had difficulties producing an heir, and then also that, you know, she was really not faithful. Blech. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, I found what I was looking for. Parisian newspaper headlines during Napoleon's march to Paris in 1815 was noted by Alexandre Dumas, who's the author of Count of Monte
Yeah,
Cristo,
well,
and
like you said.
Yeah,
Better make
yeah,
it
so
count,
on.
right? Maybe try and think my
Exactly.
way sometime.
I'm not sure I'd make it.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Won't know until you try.
But yeah, the closer he got to Paris, the more the headlines favored him. So it starts off with, he escapes from Elba, the cannibal has come out of his lair. Then the Corsican ogre has landed at Gulf Juan. The tiger has arrived at Gap. The monster has spent the night at Grenoble. The tyrant has crossed Leon. The usurper was seen 60 leagues from the capital. Bonaparte is advancing with great strides, but will never enter Paris.
Miles.
Napoleon will be below our ramparts tomorrow. The Emperor has arrived at Fontainebleau. His Imperial and Royal Majesty has made his entry into the Tuileries yesterday amid his faithful subjects, with the H in his being capitalized like he was God.
that's pretty good.
And this is all taken, of course, you know, they call that period in time the 100 days because it was 100 days from when he escaped Elba to Waterloo.
Right.
It's all my fault.
So from when he escapes Elba to when he gets back to Paris and is remade Emperor took just 20 fucking days. So in 20 days they go from calling him shit like the Corsican ogre to fucking canonizing him and capitalizing the H in his when they refer to him. Like, that is wild. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, and then they do Waterloo at the end of the movie, and, you know, the French are very outnumbered, and their plan is, we're going to take out the
Spider-Man.
British troops before the Prussian troops
Spider-Man,
arrive.
wake up!
So that way we won't be ridiculously outnumbered. Try to finish one group before the second group goes up. But then the day of the battle, it's raining, and they can't get up to do anything until it cools up, because they're not going to be able to march across basically mud. So that ruins their plan, and the British use infantry squares to destroy their cavalry charges, and yeah, they get fucked. Basically.
Yes.
This is more than a new
Yeah, that's
suit.
the thing about an infantry square is it's not just a magical counter to cavalry like, oh yeah, because if you charge this thing, we'll just magically kill all your horses.
Where did this come
That's
from?
not how it works at all, between the fact that horses move fast and they have an incredible amount of mass. A cavalry charge directly into an infantry square will still shatter that square like a hammer through glass. But the reason it was a counter to cavalry, though, is because when you form a square like that,
Thank
it's
you.
basically a wall of pike,
It's okay.
which just scares the horses. They don't want to charge into the square. So because it's a living creature and it has the ability to make its own decisions, what they want to do is they want to run around it. So it's very difficult to control your horse and to get it to actually charge into the square. Because of that, since the square was not actually pikes, it was muskets with a bayonet on the end of it. When the horse turns to run away from the square, you can then just fucking shoot it. And that's all it took. So yeah, that... It's kind of fucking insane how all you had to do
And then at the end of the
after
movie... Go.
Yeah, I was gonna say after centuries of cavalry being the king of warfare and ruling the battlefield, the way that it finally gets fucking defeated is to just scare the horse and make it not want to protect you. And that was all. So at the end of the movie,
But yeah, at the
Hey
end
there,
of the
big
movie,
guy.
Napoleon's like,
Let's
I'm
try
a
this again."
genius, I did everything right, I never made mistakes, it's just these fucking idiots that take my advice, never do anything right. And I mean, like, that's kind of the part where they're trying to make him look like a jackass, because he did make mistakes very clearly in the film. And that's just him, you know, delusional. And there's this one scene at the end of the movie where he's messing around on the island that he's in exile from, or whatever it's called. And there are two, like, preteen or barely teenage girls playing around on the island. And they're talking about Russia. And then he asks them, like,
Thought
do
we
you
lost.
know who burned Moscow to the ground? And one of them's like, I don't know.
Guess I should
and
thank
he
you.
says, I did. And then the other girl says, I thought the Russians did.
I
And
spent
he's like, no, it was
years
me.
of my
And she's
life
like, no, it's
assumed
common
vengeance.
knowledge. The Russians burned their
Lost
own city to
everything
the
for it.
ground. And then he just starts throwing food at
You
her
two
until she
reminded me that
leaves.
that's not who I am.
based.
When you help someone, you help everyone.
Outstanding.
Yeah, they kind of
And
make him,
Napoleon,
yeah, they kind of make him act a little autistic in the movie.
Where are
I
you gonna
think.
go?
that's fair enough. And
Something's right.
Napoleon never blamed his men. He just, blamed politicians,
Your way.
which he had every reason to do that. But exactly like you said, he did make mistakes, especially politically. But
Reforming your greatest enemy.
and he never
It's
blamed his
heavier than
soldiers.
Maybe MJ was right. Why would the city need me?
But anyway, yeah. Another thing I was gonna say is, hold on.
I don't know. This city still looks like a two.
So that was the one reason I didn't want to see it, is because I just wanted a movie that was gonna slobber all over him, and it doesn't sound like this movie slobbered all over him, which sucks. But the second reason I don't want to is what you mentioned, that it focuses a lot on the relationship between him and Josephine, which again, you even said it yourself. I get it too, that you do that kind of shit in the movie. You know, go with the whole romance subplot and all that kind of crap. I get it, but man, I don't
Miles just saved
fucking
my
care
life.
about that shit.
What happened?
There was symbiote
Yeah, it's not as
inside of
interesting
me.
as the other stuff. But
started
again,
taking over,
I
but
think it's just to
Martin
save
Lee
money
gave me his
because
power.
scenes where they're
Feels
where he's
different.
getting pissed off that
Like
she
the
won't
voices are
give
gone,
him
but
an
the
heir
power is
are
still there.
cheaper to film
That's
than battle scenes with
incredible.
the 500,000
MP,
people.
Just wanted to let you know. I got my
Um,
waterline pulled off that article.
I do have one question I have to know the answer to.
My landlord
Did they
knows.
actually include
that
that mind-bogglingly retarded
It
visual
means
of him
The
having
world
his
is gonna get
cannon
turned
shoot at the
into an
pyramids?
Alien wasteland.
Let me hold on. Okay, so yes, that is in the movie. But he doesn't
That's
destroy the
devastating.
pyramid. He just takes off the top.
I mean, yeah, but I
There's
Again, they don't show that battle scene at all. I think, like he said, he did that so it could be like, that's shorthand for they sacked Egypt.
yeah, and I get that too, but it's like I said, I'm all like this. The fact that we know anything at all about ancient Egypt is because of Napoleon, and I really feel like the thing about Napoleon is, yes, he had an ego, but more than
no one I'd
almost
rather be
anybody in
glued up
history, with the exception of very few people, he deserved to have that ego. You know, a guy like Julius Caesar, okay, I understand the ego. You
Aw,
fucking earned it.
feelings
A guy like
mutual.
Napoleon, okay, I understand the ego.
an eye
You
out for
fucking
him.
earned it. There's
I'll let you know if I
hundreds of different fucking things about the
Okay.
modern world
While I
today
look for Harry,
that we
I
have
should see what else needs some Spidey
because of Napoleon. The Napoleon, if he wasn't directly responsible
Better
himself
check out that nest.
for having enacted
Ready
it,
for some grimdark.
then he is at least indirectly responsible because of the decisions that he made. And Egypt's a great example. He didn't personally find the Rosetta Stone. However, it was his attention to the preservation of history when France invaded Egypt. And he let his men know specifically, he's like, we need to preserve any kinds of archaeological finds we come across. We need to preserve history wherever we are able to find it. And more importantly than anything else, if you should, in your search, in your archaeological expeditions, discover anything that helps increase our knowledge and understanding of the old world, I want to know about it immediately. So when they found this fucking thing that would become the Rosetta Stone, and it just looked like some weird fucking rock that had drawings on it, you know, if that had been the British, some guy would have just been like, "Boy, I could sell this for a few shillings to get me some ale." Instead, a French guy was all like, "Hey, this is kind of important. I'm gonna let the Emperor know about this right away."
Yeah, they only make one joke about Napoleon's height in the movie, and it's pretty subtle. Well, okay, it's not subtle, but it's very understated that he's short, because he wasn't actually short. But there's this one part where they're in Egypt, and they pop open one of the, what do they call them, sarcophaguses?
Yeah.
And Napoleon wants to look at the mummified corpse inside, but it's much taller than him, so he has to stand on a box so he can, like, look at it face to face. But other than that, they didn't
Yeah.
really do anything with that. They did have him get fat as he got older because he ate a lot.
Well, that does make sense. Our portrayals of fat in the modern world are very different because our idea of fat is a lot different, a lot more different than back then. I just keep remembering the circus that I saw. There was like a circus in 1890 or some shit. And they had a picture of the world's fattest man, who just looked like a regular average dude you'd see at Walmart nowadays. It's all like, and now the world's fattest man weighs over 1,000 pounds. Back then the world,
Two of those guys. and stuff.
right, exactly. Back then the world's fattest man didn't even weigh 300 pounds. So like Big Country said, the average height of a Frenchman in 1820 was 5'4", and Napoleon was 5'6". That's why people try to say it's like he was above average height at the time. The Napoleon is short meme is literally British propaganda because they adopted the metric system, and people tried to make fun of him for being short because centimeters are shorter than inches. They said he's measured in centimeters, and he's doing that to make himself sound taller than he really is. He's a tiny manlet.
No, I mean, I can't hate them for trying to use propaganda to discredit somebody that they don't like.
Oh, and in terms of at the time, yeah, I completely get it. You know, do whatever you got to do. Like back then, people also made fun of him a lot for being a cuck, exactly like you said.
Gotta call
But
Miles and get over there quick.
that the shit persists today,
Meet me at Connor's
and the
lab.
people hate England, they hate the British monarchy, they hate imperialism and colonizers and all that kind of shit, and yet they continue to spout British
gonna get
propaganda from the 1810s is just
Can't let up. Gotta save these
fucking
people.
wild. But another fun fact is that he was almost the same height as the Duke of Wellington, who was remembered as being some kind of absolute giant. He's only 5'8". He was 2 inches taller than Napoleon. Napoleon's the man, like Duke of Wellington. Routinely, Arthur Wellesley in fiction, he's portrayed by some guy who's at least 6 feet tall, if not taller. Meanwhile, they usually, if they don't have an actual manlet playing Napoleon, then they use camera tricks to make him look small. It's like they were almost the exact same height. Anyway. Well, yeah, I'm not too interested in seeing the movie now, but at least it's not like let's all shit all over him.
Yeah, I don't think
Best.
I don't. So how was your day?
It was completely awful. I think I really fucking hope that it's just because of the holiday, but I was out there for several hours today, and I had 3 total orders. I made $11. I didn't get one single tip today.
Well,
Can't let up. Gotta save these people.
I guess people have leftovers.
Seriously. That plus, you know, they're still traveling or whatever. Plus, spent all their available docs on Black Friday junk. I was just sitting there like, man, I was out there for a long time today. On that battery was just, yeah, it's kind of rough. Anyway, going back to a discussion from earlier, talking about Tua. Finally has his worst game of the season, and it was the average Josh Allen stat line. I am fucking pleased with that.
And
Like I said in the...
blowout.
Yes, exactly. Against one of the top defenses in the league. You'd love to fucking see that. I'm not sure if I agree with what Tua did to his arm in a show of support for trans pride or whatever. I thought that was going a little too far. But
I missed that. I missed the game today to see
that's totally fine. I was making a joke because Tua, somehow, some way, he got a very, very deep gash in his arm. Some people commented, "Oh my God, you can see bone," but like, no, you can't. It's just there are white muscle fibers and muscle. It's not the whole thing's fucking red. Like, but it was very deep.
They keep coming.
Pretty bad. And I said in the Discord, because people were talking about, you know, Geno yet again. Oh, we gotta replace Geno. Blah, blah, blah. And obviously, the Seahawks don't want to be starting Geno until he retires from old age. It's not their long-term future plans.
A little while longer.
But with what you said about he's really far down the list in terms of problems that the team has, that's what I was trying to get people to understand. I'm all like, Tua is without a doubt the best quarterback the Dolphins have had since Dan Marino. He's absolutely outstanding as a player. I fucking love him. I'm glad we have him. And I'm glad I was wrong in terms of, you know, oh man, why'd we draft a quarterback in the first round? God damn it, god damn it, god damn it. I'm happy with what we have there. But if the Seahawks did the same exact thing and they drafted a guy who could very easily go on to be a top 5 QB in the league every year for, you know, his entire career basically, it's not going to fix the problem. They're still going to have all the same problems, so it's nice to have one less thing to worry about, but when you have so many different things to worry about, why the fuck are you harping on and on and on about we need to move on from Geno? It's like, yeah, eventually you do, but right now his contract's fucking outstanding, and there's a lot of other things that you need to focus on first.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, Geno could be winning MVP this year, and I'd still probably say, look, we only have one quarterback on the roster next year, and Geno's like 33. Like, it still would make sense to go try to find another quarterback, Like, I don't feel like Geno's play even though he changed my position. Now, I'm not looking to spend our top pick on one necessarily because I don't like those quarterbacks enough. The ones that we're going to get this year, I don't like them enough. But the point is, like, yeah, you should, you know, every few years, you should probably look for a quarterback at some point in the draft, see if they hit. If you don't, then it's not that big of a deal. Because, like, that's what the Packers did when they had Brett Favre. The Packers, every year, every couple of 2 years, would draft a quarterback, and then after a couple of years, they'd trade him for assets. Like, they would get Mark Brunell. They would get Matt Hasselbeck. Those are all guys who got drafted by Green Bay and ended up starting elsewhere.
Yeah, and that everything that you just said is certainly very valid. And yeah, I think it would be a good move for the Seahawks also to draft a QB just to, you know, just have somebody there, because obviously Drew Lock is not going to be a capable backup if Geno got hurt in the Seahawks spot. That is definitely something that I can agree with. But when I say what I said in terms of there's a lot of other things you need to focus on first, it's referring to things like people saying, okay, we need to sell the farm so that we can trade up to draft Caleb. Like, that's retarded. We need to tank as much as we can so that we could get a higher pick so that we could draft one of these stud QBs. That's fucking retarded. We need to sign somebody in the offseason for an outrageous fucking contract. That's completely fucking retarded. There are so many other things
I
you need
really
to do
do
first.
think a lot of the things that Seahawks fans say right now is motivated by the fact that they're bored more than the fact that this stuff is actually awful.
That artwork may be
It
valuable.
would be like
not
if
as
a
valuable
Miami
as your
Heat
lives.
fan
Stay
that
safe.
grew up with LeBron and Wade and Bosh and
Miles.
was used
Get
to
over there
that
quick.
level of success
Miles,
wanted to
meet me
trade
at
Jimmy
Connor's lab.
Butler
I think Harry's
because
there,
it's
and it
just
doesn't sound
not
good.
quite as good
On my
as
way.
LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and they're like, well, I'm bored.
Should be a shortcut to Connor's
Oh,
lab.
this.
near
That-
Central
yeah.
Park.
Yeah,
I've gotta
it's
find
not
a way
that
to get
different.
through
It's
Harry.
not quite like that, but there
know
would
I
be
can
some
reach him.
similarities there.
Just hope he doesn't hurt Connor's.
And I could understand that analogy really well. To me, that just comes back to what I keep saying, which is that Seahawks fans are spoiled. Spoiled by being consistently so good and consistently so competitive in recent years that it, like, last year was expected to be a rebuild. The team was expected to win 3 games. And the fact the team, the fan base is super pissed because, yeah, obviously the loss yesterday sucked. There's no getting around that. And the loss the week previously sucked. There's no getting around that either. However, even discounting the Rams game, if you'd actually won the game yesterday, you'd be leading the division. And if you
Margins are
won
thin.
both of, yes, the margins are thin. I agree with you there. But that's the thing that I'm trying to say, which is that I'm like, you guys are like right there on the outside edge, and I'm not saying that people don't have a right to be disappointed. I'm not saying that people don't have a right to be upset that things aren't going better. But I don't like it when Seahawks fans tell me that that's a loser mentality when I try to get them to calm down by saying, look, things could be a lot worse, and you should really be thankful and grateful that your team has been so consistent and so good for so long that you can't comprehend of how much worse this could really be. and how much worse it really has been for so many other fan bases around the league.
It's hard to encapsulate in one photo, but this isn't bad.
You know, like that's an easy thing to say in the moment when you're not a fan of the team and you're not going through like, oh my god, like me being a Dolphins fan, you know, of course I can fucking talk my team won this week. Like, I sound like an asshole coming off and saying shit like that. But at the same time, I'm sitting here like, dude, it could, you know, the season's not over yet. Don't fall to pieces the way that so many are. You know, there's a lot of problems that do need to be addressed, but I feel confident that the franchise is aware of that, and I feel confident that the franchise will actually work to address those concerns in the future. And could be so much worse. Like, how do you think Jets fans feel this season when they thought, like, everybody had them penciled in as being the guys who were going to win the division and a team who could potentially go to the Super Bowl? And then Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps into the season tears his Achilles. Not only that, but a Dolphins player tonight tore his Achilles. And at this point, I'm all like, I genuinely think that the Players Association should come together and, like, sue the Jets ownership or some shit, just, like, get them to stop using this god-awful turf, because it's actually...
I don't know if they're that big.
An Achilles tear is not exactly a common injury. To have 2 in the same season, both in the same fucking stadium in the same circumstances, is just... You got to do something about that. Like,
Well, they've been a problem
I
for way longer.
bet they have some idea.
Well, thanks for the
I think
photos,
Bosa
Peter.
tore his ACL on that
Always
field.
been better at this than you.
yes, and
I don't think that.
right, and that's the thing with when a high-profile player actually gets hurt, the same way that other guys had been. I mean, Bosa's not exactly not a high-profile player, but Aaron Rodgers is on another level. So someone of Aaron Rodgers' caliber getting hurt like that, finally there might be a conversation about this shit. You know? Which should be nice, because I mean, I'm molding pretty hard that we lost Jalen. Or
Hello?
one of the Jalens, I
Anyone
should
here?
say. We had a council of Jalens on the
Black
fucking
Cat's
Dolphins, and there was like 3 or 4 of them.
This is gonna get loud.
But,
I think the Jets have 2 players on their team named Michael Carter, and they drafted them back to back. So it's fun to imagine if they meant to draft the other one when they drafted the first one. They were like, they came up.
it's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, like I said, Seahawks fans have every right to be upset that things aren't going the way that they hoped that they would. But the season's not over yet, and be happy about it at the same time. And I feel like that's getting lost in the shuffle. Because, you know, winning, especially in the NFL, is really fucking hard. And if you're going to be a fan of a team and you're going to actually enjoy yourself because sports is supposed to be fun, you gotta take your happiness and optimism and, you know, enjoyment where you can. So if you sit here and think, well, you know, obviously I'm really disappointed that we didn't do as well as we could have. Well, you know, Devon Witherspoon's fucking outstanding. That's something to be happy about.
Only a few more seconds.
And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about having to remember that it could be so much worse and that the fan base really is spoiled isn't like, man. Having a guy like Witherspoon's a lot better than what, you know, a lot of fucking people have had for what, like, think about if you were a Colts fan. After you had to watch that franchise ruin one of the best prospects in the history of the league, and Andrew Luck retires so fucking early, because the complete lack of any kind of offensive line protection just got his ass beat to such an extent. He's like, well, you know what? I'd like to be able to remember my family's names when I'm 50. And it's hard to blame him. But, like, since that happened, man, fucking just absolutely nothing. Or, you know, let's think about what it's like to be a Redskins fan after that amazing name finally got changed to something awful. Plus, you've had to deal with not one, but two high-profile player deaths that completely devastated the future of your franchise in the last 20 years. And, of course, your last Super Bowl was like 40 years ago.
Oh yeah, Big Country, I saw that. They actually fired their defensive coordinator after yesterday, so... He didn't... So, I mean, usually coaches get fired on Black Monday. He got fired on literally Black Friday.
Those people can't fight off symbiotes on their own.
I think he should have gotten fired on Black History Month.
And that's when a lot of coaches get fired, because that's when the season ends.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I was reading his name wrong. I thought it was Del Negro. Now I gotta do it. He's currently an analyst with NBA TV.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he hasn't coached since he got fired from the Clippers.
Man,
That was
these
a
things
while
don't
ago.
quit.
That was 10 years ago.
Okay.
Oh,
let's-
wow. 2 years ago, Vinny Del Negro won a golf tournament, the American Century Championship, Liberty Golf Tournament. He
Man,
won in 2021.
But I gotta keep going.
How about that?
In the midst of the most unprecedented time in modern history, a hero rises to change his costume? What award show is Spider-Man hosting?
You know, I just remembered something. I want to try something. Oh man, I can't make Parker and Morales wear the exact same costume. I don't think. I wanted to do that. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can. It's still a little different. Yeah, it's actually way different now that I'm looking at it. That way, when they do the Spider-Man pointing at each other meme, it would actually make sense.
Seriously.
Feels the need to change
Spider-Man 13, his secret identity is actually still a secret identity, right? Like, the whole city doesn't know that
Right.
Miles Morales is...
Correct.
Okay, what I think he should do then, because if Jameson's gonna go off on him, because he's also claiming to be a Spider-Man, he should just, like, take off his glove, just to show people he's black, and then just say, hey, J. Jonah Jameson's racist.
I mean, I'm sure people
no,
already
it's
think
Spider-Man.
he's racist. Like, I don't think. Oh shit! This is a glitch. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm watching this right now. That is absolutely fucking hysterical. All that shit happening. The car fucking is sitting still.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a high-speed chase, but the car won't move. That's fucking great.
Oh man, that is classic. That's good stuff.
That's fucking awesome. Okay. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm gonna do the Prowler stash. I want to finish these. These are easy, and they're a good way to get shit. None of the trailers were really all that appealing today.
Uncle Aaron stashed some tech.
Madame Web looks like it was made on a budget of like $2,000 for some reason. It just looks really like, it looks like something that's on the CW or UPN or something. Like, I remember watching Enterprise as it was airing back in the early 00s. And there was some stuff, there were some parts where it's like you could almost see the styrofoam that the wall in the back was made out of. Because their budget got so low at a certain point. Like that, I think that is the only Star Trek show that actually got canceled due to lack of interest before it was able to actually finish on its own.
Yes, that's true, which is really devastating because this is something that a lot of people don't know, especially as we get further removed from it. But literally every Star Trek show ever has been threatened to be canceled because of lack of interest. But what happened with all of them and why they were allowed to keep going is because the studio was patient. You know, Gene Roddenberry came in and he said, come on, we're right there. Give us a little longer. And they said, okay, Gene, we're going to trust you on this one. And like, even fucking Deep Space Nine was getting ready to be fucking canceled due to lack of interest. That's why, Deep Space Nine was written with the intention of having a series-long story arc with the Dominion War from the start. When they started the series, that was always their end game for where they wanted the story to go. However, they needed to take a season-long detour in the fourth season and start up a war between the Federation and the Klingons. And the reason they had to do that is specifically because interest in Deep Space Nine was so low, and people cared so little, that the studio came in and said, look, you need to do something pretty soon, or we're not going to be able to renew you guys for another season. So they said, okay, let's bring back the incredibly popular character from The Next Generation, Worf. And then because he's one Klingon, we'll start bringing in more Klingons, because people love Klingons. We'll start a war with the Klingons, how's that? And then that saved the show. Voyager was going to get canceled due to lack of interest, so then they decided to become the Borg show. Jerry Ryan, the actress who played Seven of Nine, was the wife of one of the producers of Voyager. So he's like, wait a minute, my wife's really hot. Why don't I just have her in a cat suit with her giant titties out? And then they did constantly Borg stories because of how popular the movie First Contact was.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, why don't we just make this the Borg show? And then that saved the show. The Next Generation was going to get canceled because of lack of fan interest. Then they invented the Borg specifically to increase interest. When the two-parter, The Best of Both Worlds, came out, where Picard was assimilated by the Borg and then became the leader of the Borg race and headed an invasion into Earth and basically destroyed the entire Federation Navy. That shit right there saved the series. And they were going to get canceled due to lack of interest before that happened. And I say all that to say this. All that shit, all those things, were either the third or the fourth season when that happened, and then the show really came into its own. They just needed to give them more time. And the third, fourth season is exactly when they canceled Enterprise. It was just the first time that they said, no, we're not going to give you more time. We're not going to let you come into your own. We're not going to give you another chance to come up with something. We're just going to go straight into fucking canceling you. And when you read from show creators about what they had planned and what they would have done instead, if you're a fan of Star Trek, then man, we missed out on something really special. But, well, it happens.
Looks like that's all the stashes. Wait.
Oh, by the way, I hit 15,000 subscribers on YouTube earlier today.
Nice. What an achievement.
I would say so.
That's good, man. Happy for you.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, the Rockets are good.
My suit's
Like the
sinking to another
Rockets
one.
are actually like
Right by where I
fun
met
and
up with Unc.
interesting.
Maybe his
Didn't
clothes
take
buggy.
him, man. That
Should go check with him.
James Harden's like he's gonna make the Hall of Fame, but his ultimate legacy is gonna be such poop. Every team immediately becomes more fun when they get rid of him, and every team is less fun for having him on board. And like Jesus,
It was funny. When the Magic beat the Nuggets a few days ago, Celtics fans were constantly shitting all over the Nuggets, like, "Oh man, I can't. This is our year. We're gonna win the championship."
Where's Beck?
If a bad team like the Magic could beat the Nuggets,
If you're looking for Betsy and Cole,
bro, the Magic won by like really small. I think it was like 3 points.
You killed them?
The Magic blew the Celtics out tonight,
you've
man.
known from the beginning who you're
Fucking
dealing
17-point ass whooping.
What?
Oh man, that is good stuff.
the Magic are winning the finals.
The name.
So this one was pretty funny too. I don't know if you saw that DeMar DeRozan got ejected.
The name.
I missed that.
Okay, DeMar DeRozan got ejected with a few seconds left in the game because he took exception to the Raptors won by 13 points, and they were still trying to score with 30 seconds left in the game when they were up by 12.
What happened to
They
you?
got that
I
13
thought
point
you were
from
all
the
about some
technical
future
that
of
got
entertainment.
DeRozan ejected. So he got ejected off of that because he was complaining because they were still trying to score a lot of points. Like they took a quick three. There's 30 seconds left. You've already won by double digits. The game's over. What the fuck are you doing? So the Raptors tried to justify it by talking about point differential because of the in-season tournament. The Raptors got eliminated from the tournament before the game even started.
Well, I think the right
And
way
then-
to say that scenario is that you're doing a free taco promo for your fans. If you win by a certain amount. Like, everybody's gonna get that because everybody likes tacos.
And it was just absolutely hysterical. They're like, yeah, it's because of the in-season tournament, the point differential. Like, you got eliminated some fans before the game
This
even
is like
started.
the other illusions. The more baddies I take out,
What are you
the
talking
closer I
about?
get to escape.
The Warriors are below 500. Wow. Wembanyama shat out the place tonight yet again, and is a huge reason. The Spurs only lost by 6. That's why I say that he shat out the place and cost the team the game, is because he had 6 turnovers and he shot like absolute shit. 1 for 6 from 3. 6 turnovers and he's out there chucking and the team loses by just 6 points. Like if he wasn't playing like dog shit, they could have won. That's the difference between him and Chet. Chet Holmgren actually plays basketball well. His stats are meaningful. They result in wins.
Come closer and I'll show you.
Literally every single Spurs game, the only thing you will find is in some way or another Wembanyama's involved in every single highlight, because anything that happens to me just pushes him so hard. Here's a highlight. He hits one. It's a fucking mid-range jumper highlight.
Isn't how you get respect.
Somebody, Gary Payton II blocked Wembanyama highlight. What?
They should bring Nate Robinson back to block one of Wembanyama's shots.
He could probably fucking do it. He's
Yao Ming
practically in
was
his
taller and
50s.
He blocked a Yao Ming shot.
Well, yeah. Exactly. Like Nate Robinson in his 50s with like massive amounts of CTE because Logan Paul or Aaron Paul or whoever the fuck it was gave him like 18 concussions. Jesus Christ. Clay is washed. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he is.
He's got to retire.
I mean, there's no shame in it. He had that injury that basically took him out for 3 years. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely the case. I'm looking at the box score of that Nuggets game. Jokic needs help. Like, oh my god, here's hoping that Murray comes back soon. Because right now, with Murray out, his Robin is Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon scored 2 points tonight on 0 for 12 shooting. Meanwhile, Jokic very nearly had half the team's points. Like,
Yeah, that's-
remember that the team lost. Remember that the team lost. I want you to listen to this stat line. 38 points, 14 for 31 shooting, 3 for 8 from 3, 7-11 from the free throw line, 19 rebounds, including 6 offensive boards, 8 assists, 3 steals. That's a loss.
Mhm.
That's a 20-point loss.
Yikes.
Holy fuck, Jokic needs help. Oh my god. Cannot believe Aaron Gordon took 12 shots tonight and didn't make a single one.
Now, when you pass him the ball, you know you're not getting it back. That's the Aaron Gordon experience, ain't it?
Good fucking grief.
You'd think playing with Jokic would rub off on you and make you a
defeat him.
Wait,
better passer.
if you're here...
Well, that's the thing is Aaron Gordon likes to think of himself as a defensive specialist now. He was talking mad shit during the playoffs last year. He was like, "Yeah, I can't wait until I'm an old man, I'm a grandpa, and then I get to tell my grandkids about how, hey, back when I played, I was locking up Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Steph Curry." And everyone's like, "Bro, you do play good defense, but I don't know if you want to be talking that kind of mess right now."
Calm down.
Exactly. They're like, "You're not fucking Scottie Pippen out there, bro. You're fucking like."
Now you're just making excuses.
You might be Iggy. You're Iggy with a worse jump shot.
Without the ability to pass the ball.
Exactly.
Your reality is what I deem it to be.
So yeah, I hope Murray comes back soon. Because I mean, no matter how good Jokic plays, again, that's a loss. It's damn near a 40-point triple-double. That's LeBron shit right there. Like, not only that, but like he was 1 rebound away from 20 rebounds, and 40-20 games are insanely rare.
Hmm.
So if he scored 1 more basket and grabbed 1 more point, he would have had a 40-20 game, which is fucking insane.
Modern day Wilt Chamberlain.
Exactly. It is sad that the Heat lost to the Knicks tonight, but we've been having an amazing season so far. I'm not going to complain at all.
Yeah, and
we're doing...
I turned to that game to watch the end of it, and then I saw that it was a fucking in-season, mid-season tournament game, and I was like,
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why we lost, actually, is because like we don't give a shit about those games. But funnily enough, if we actually won that game, we would be leading our group.
Again, they should just do it so whoever wins the in-season tournament is guaranteed a playoff spot. It'd be hilarious.
I completely agree with you there. You'd love to see it. What the fuck were you doing? Managing peace treaties, so difficult.
1 second. Yeah, I saw Archie Manning. Actually, Arch Manning
It's
got to
over.
play a little bit in this game. I did see that. Good for him.
You
He's
managed
very
to
good at
survive.
taking the ball off.
Doesn't matter. Alive or dead, you will never
Take
escape me.
Larson Valley first. No. Then call that province ventures. Wait for him to do the thing. But Kilwa stole the thing, so we could roll on the Ottomans first then. Bring my navy over.
Gotta find him before he gets away. Nice try.
Clever spider. You cannot win. I am infinite. When you're dead, the city will finally give me the respect I have earned.
You want respect? Then stop all this!
Horses?
Surprise? Maybe it's time for you to put some respect on my name.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Why am I losing power? We can't let him do this! Give me everything!
Talk about Arch Manning being so amazing with the PER risk what calculator and all that kind of shit. I'm genuinely surprised he was a place for like MIT.
I mean, honestly, in the last few years, Duke has had a pretty respectable football program. The nerds are taking over football.
You'll love to see it.
See, in the 80s, it
Time to
was
get
just
out
a
of here.
shitty comedy movie, but now it's real life.
The sim is down. Get it back.
I'm trying.
So true.
It was Quentin. He made us do this.
Dude, kill
Where is
them.
he?
Kill them both. Kill them both.
Somebody.
Kill everybody in this place right now.
I knew you'd find me.
It's okay, Miles.
Still have a lot of questions.
This should clear things up.
So can I tell everyone Mysterio's a good guy now?
The feeling of stitches in your mouth will never
Mysterio
not
will
be
always
super
be a
fucking
villain.
weird.
Just as Spider-Man.
I
will
remember that
always
one
be a
had
hero.
the wisdom teeth.
It's when you start looking at the people behind the masks that things get messy.
What if he transferred to Washington? We're gonna need a quarterback. resolved the Mysterio plotline.
Nice.
I still don't really know why he ended up being a good guy at the end, but I also don't really care enough to look into it further. I mean, McMillan's coming back next year now, I think. And I think Jalen Polk is still going to be there. So if Arch Manning came to UW, he'd have two pretty primo receivers to work with. I don't think Dylan Johnson can declare. I think he's coming back. I think Westover might be gone.
Uncle Aaron? Where'd he go? He did have a stash here. What was this stash for? These are blueprints to my apartment building.
Is he a senior?
He wouldn't plan a heist.
He must have
there,
transferred
would he?
from somewhere, because I feel like I didn't see him
Bang it home
before
quick.
this year. Wait a minute. Dude, what am I supposed to do with this fucking thing? I just really hope we get some production tomorrow out of McMillan, so I can believe he'll.
What are
do
you
something
doing,
in
Uncle
Oregon,
Aaron?
'cause it is really hard
hope
to have
this isn't
confidence
what it
in
looks
this
like.
team being Oregon right now. Like, they smoked the Beavers tonight. We barely beat the Beavers. Like, they're just on another level right now.
What is it?
Some tech I was prototyping before I got caught up with Roxxon. Could come in handy.
Guess Uncle Aaron really is making room for the future. One floor up. Can't wait to try this tech out.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying, Big Country. Oh my god. Although, people did point out today that UW's defense has been lights out in the fourth quarter over the last several games. Like, month and a half, they've given up a total of like 13 points in the fourth quarter. So I guess that's good, right? I think ZTF's going too, right? I think ZTF could be like a third or fourth round pick. That's probably about as good as it's going to get for him.
Another nest. These things freak me out. Where's the heart of the nest? Need to move that car. Let's clean this place up. Need to move that car. Man, these things are tough!
right.
did it.
Is that all of them?
Oh, thanks, Spider-Man. Take care of yourselves, okay?
The question is, David, is he really, really stupid and can't pass his college classes? Or is he actually just wanting to play more football? Because you got to admit, it's a hell of a cover story.
Norman, what are you doing?
Oh, shit. It's Harry. He's gonna eat his dad. He's gonna commit patricide. The evilest of all crimes.
son.
Nice.
We are your son. Look at us. We are healthy, strong. This is what you want, isn't it?
Stop, Harry! We can help you!
Okay, Norman Osborn is very dead right now.
Where's the rest of it?
I mean, I don't really like what the story of the game is doing at this point very much. They're doing some stuff in the story that I'm not a big fan of, but the gameplay's still fine, as it pretty much always is.
What's he gonna do with that thing? I think we're about to find out. You need to know. Harry's gone. Host and symbiote are perfectly fused. I'll find a way to save him. You can't. But you can still stop the symbiote. How? By killing the host.
Please. Save my boy.
Alright,
Fort
so...
Springfield, we surrender unconditionally.
Oh my god.
Come on, man, those white flags are no match for our musket.
What I'm seeing right now.
So
We've
the
got a lot of
Springfield
New
Brigade
Yorkers being
heroically
attacked by
slaughtered their enemies as
I'm on
they
it.
prayed for mercy.
All he needed was that meteorite. Now he can heal the world. This isn't what we meant.
Oh god, I love that one so much. That's my favorite. But the Springfield Brigade was too brave to accept their enemy's surrender.
symbiotes are trying to get at those people! It's okay, they're gone.
I thought I almost... Thank you.
Those civilians are in trouble. I'm coming! Those symbiotes won't stop until they get inside! Hey, Uglies! How about picking on me? This area's not safe. If you don't have a place to go, Beast is open to anyone.
Thanks, Spider-Man. My whole life flashed before my eyes.
Miles, we have to talk.
No kidding. There are nests popping up everywhere. Sending you coordinates now.
Got it.
Watch yourself out there, man.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that
something
Wolverine
else.
game a while ago. I guess it's still not coming out for a little bit, but I mean, if they want to make a good
find you,
X-Men video game, I mean,
find you.
it would be kind of the first one. Like, unless you go back to like the arcade style games, maybe, but
I forget what the name of it was, but there were these two X-Men games they made that were the precursors to Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So, in that sense, they were really good. Without a doubt. And, whoa. Hold on just a minute there, Buckaroo. What happened? X-Men Origins Wolverine, I thought was really good. Certainly one of the best games based off of a movie.
and the movie sucks, so that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, the movie was terrible, but the game was super good. Look, see, one of the things the game did that no one else has ever really tried to duplicate, which is kind of amazing because it came out, it was an Xbox 360
Time for a
PS3
Miles
game.
Morales original, you know?
X-Men Origins Wolverine had an interesting system where, because Wolverine has the healing factor, he would recover and everything, but they would show the damage that he would take. And then they would show you, as he regenerates health, him healing that damage. So he's taking hardcore fucking damage, like flesh is being blasted off of his body, and you could like fucking see his muscles and his skeleton and shit. And you could watch as his
I saw May when I was
skin and flesh would regrow.
in your head.
You could actually just watch it as he healed. Not only was that impressive, but what was more impressive is that he would start off, you know, wearing clothes, obviously. Like his shirt would be destroyed. Not the whole thing, but like there'd be bullet holes in it, or, you know, large pieces of it would be missing because that whole section of his chest had been blown off or some shit. When he would regenerate,
They would want us to stop
his
thinking
clothes wouldn't. So the clothes would just have a missing hole to show the damage, even though his flesh healed back.
Harry's still in there.
That was a game that came out
And we're gonna
like
fight like hell to get
15
him back.
fucking years ago, and that is still more impressive than a lot of things that we see now. Like, that is really fucking cool.
Call the play, coach.
Let's split up. Cover more ground. You find the meteorite, I'll clear that nest out.
But yeah, they generally don't make a ton of
You got it,
X-Men
Spider-Man.
games regardless.
Ready to get started. I have to check out that infected skyscraper I saw with Pete. There has to be something there. Gotta clear it out and move on to the next. Countdown begin.
Oh my god, I have to stay alive for 2.5 minutes.
You, huh? I must be onto something important for you to try to defend yourself like this.
It's a nice outfit. Did your husband make it for you?
Rubs that fit. Oh man, love that shit.
What? Hello?
Come here, Miles.
Where's that voice coming from? I can't let them get to the heart.
Maybe when Venom has such an easy to exploit and obvious weakness. It shouldn't be that big of a challenge. Just play a lot of loud music. Play dubstep and you won't be able to do shit.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge problem that the modern stuff has made, is they've been focusing more on the symbiote stories. Because in the comics, yes, sound basically was a weakness of the symbiote. But exactly what you're talking about. If it's that fucking easy, then yeah, just play dubstep and then suddenly Venom's dead. What they used to do is establish that it required either extremely high-pitched frequencies that were like the human ear couldn't detect them, like a dog whistle basically, or that it required very, very specific kinds of sounds and sonic frequencies in order to achieve that same effect. And, you know, obviously that just sounds like nerdy as fuck and stupid, so I get why they don't want to focus on that, but the way that they do it now, it's just like, exactly like you said, it's like you fight him at a rock concert and he's worthless. Like,
I remember reading a little bit of some of the comic storylines.
10 more seconds! This better work.
Or arc or two.
yeah. And of course that famous Spider-Man PS1 game. Venom gets introduced as being a villain, because, you know, always, duh. But after Spider-Man beats him up for the first time, you know, after the boss fight, Venom then joins Spider-Man's side. He's on your side for the rest of the game. Pretty cool.
Who's the villain in that game?
The ultimate villain is Doc Ock and Carnage formed an alliance to try to take out Spider-Man. So Spider-Man essentially gets framed, I think, for the murder of Doc Ock at the beginning of the game, but then it's revealed in a huge twist that Dr. Octopus was not dead and that he faked his own death to frame Spider-Man for the murder and to turn the city against him.
Where am I?
Carnage is actually kind of freaky.
Well, yeah, because it's one that makes a ton of sense when you think about it, but for whatever reason, comics don't want to explore it too often. Cletus Cassidy was actually a serial killer, and then Carnage comes along, and the symbiote bonds with him because they both enjoy, literally, Carnage. They just want to kill and mutilate as many people as they can. So when you think about, like, oh, an actual serial killer just got magic superpowers.
Right. No, I didn't see that.
See, I never know anymore these days. Did he misspell his first name, or is that his actual first name?
Neither do you. Come on,
I think that is his first name.
Come on.
Jahuan Jennings.
It
Awesome.
might be Jajuan, like Jajuan.
It's not the way, Harry. You know that.
I can't remember if there's another J in there or not.
Haley?
Mexicans would be pronouncing it Jahuan.
What are you showing me?
Yeah.
Join us.
Good old Lamangelo.
Haley's in trouble. Pete, I saw the meteorite. It's under the Harlem subway station, next to the bridge.
Heading there now.
Wait for me though, man. Harry, he's after you. I have to go help Haley, but just wait, all right?
Whoa, back up. What happened?
I got sucked into the hive mind. Saw this vision of the meteorite underground. But I've got a bad feeling.
You think Harry's there?
I'm serious, Pete. Just give me 10 minutes. You cannot do this alone.
Right. Call me when you're done. Sorry, Miles, but I can't waste any time.
Can I personally choose to wait 10 minutes for Miles to show up? Like, because I'd really like to do that. Because I know exactly where this is going, and I'm not that interested in experiencing it. So I'm just going to stand here for like 10 minutes.
Haste.
He could be pro Fortnite gamer.
There's the subway entrance. Miles has to be right. That's where the meteorite is. Just have to clear out this bridge. Everyone stay in your cars. I won't let them hurt you. Harry! Venom! I know you're here!
Yes.
Yes, I'm here, buddy!
I mean...
I know! Just hang on! I'm coming! Come on! They're coming out of the subway tunnel! The meteorite has to be underground! Venom! Please talk to me! I have to get underground. I can't leave these people behind. Two of you? Not now! I don't have time for this. Maybe. No. Come on, Spider-Man. Almost done. Harry! Can you hear me? I'll find you, buddy. I'm coming!
Dude, how do I dodge these fuckers? You have to actually, like, give me the prompt to fucking...
Two of you? Not now! I don't have time for this. Maybe. No. Come on, Spider-Man. Almost done. Harry! Can you hear me? I'll find you, buddy. I'm coming! Just stay down! There, the subway tunnel.
Finally.
Hey, everything all good with Haley?
Yeah, I mean...
Not yet.
I agree.
But you still owe me a
Like,
few
if
more minutes.
we
Hang tight.
get the playoff spot by earning it, then great. But if we're gonna try to get the playoff spot by falling backwards into it, then I don't care if some team wants to come up and take it from us. Like, who cares?
What are you doing here? I was trying to save you. You're incredible. I like you so much, and I think you like me.
You know, there's still
Do you
a
wanna
small
go out?
part of me that is convinced that sign language isn't a
On a
real thing.
Date?
And these people are just doing Naruto hand signals to summon their chakras. It must be such a fucking complex language to communicate such advanced thoughts and specific phrases through gestures. Like, that is wild. I don't think I could learn that shit if you gave me 1,000 years.
Well, it's a date then.
Hey, Carson.
After.
Yeah, I don't know how you speak sign language quickly. Because you have to move your hands to express concepts, thoughts, and ideas.
I'm on the way.
How would you possibly be able to communicate quickly?
Like, I can memorize the alphabet, but the problem is by the time you spell out where's the bathroom, you've already pissed yourself.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Harry. Leave a message.
Hey, buddy.
Which is why the
talked to
sign
Dr.
language
Connors.
phrase for where's
He
the
says
bathroom
you're
is
too far
holding your
gone,
crotch
but I
and
know
jumping
that's
up and
not
down.
true. Harry, I messed up. I was terrible to you. Your dream, our dream, healing the world. I'm sorry.
Have you guys ever seen the Mario Party meme where the guy is doing the mini game where you have to balance on top of the ball and not roll off the cliff edge to win, and whoever stays the longest wins? And the guy wins by just literally not moving at all, and the other three guys just immediately accidentally roll off on their own.
I have seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Steelers are doing this year.
You're here.
Well, Nugget, you do realize the Jets don't have Jared Stidham, right? They have Zach Wilson and they have Boyle, and they have their punter.
You know, I think after today's game, they should give serious thought and consideration to starting the punter.
The Jets actually did that in 1999. They tested version for his ACL.
It has to be
they
here.
put in the punter, and the punter was actually legit good.
I'm sorry, I
Tom
couldn't.
Tupa.
I know, man. I'll try to find a way inside.
Time to be alive.
It's gonna be okay.
And the punter almost won the game, but I think he actually got pulled. Like Parcells was eventually like, okay, this can't go on forever. I'm gonna cut my losses while I'm ahead. So my actual backup quarterback was Myers.
Outstanding.
Yeah, fucking
Exactly.
I have to get to that meteorite. I'm so close.
What the hell am I doing? I have ions on this series.
Harry! Harry, go!
All right, we have all of our powers now. We have 100% power.
Unlimited gathering power.
What the hell is that? Gypsy Spider-Man? Oh, this is Spider-Man 2099. That's actually kind of a clean look. I like Spider-Man 2099.
Cool.
Iron Spider, very nice. Oh, Dak. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. How does that work? I don't think... Aha! There we go. That's how you do it. get the costume. Let's go.
I'm trying, buddy. I just need that meteorite, okay?
I mean, you gotta admit,
Miles,
playing
I'm
with
not seeing a
that
rock.
level of effort
No? Hold on. I'm nearly to you.
on Thursday Night Football at home against your biggest rival is pretty bad.
If you're referring to the Seahawks game,
Yeah.
then to make it even worse, you need to keep in mind also that if you won that game, you'd be leading the division. Whereas losing that game almost guarantees you will not be able to win the division. Kind of brutal.
I guess I gotta do this.
Yo, bro!
Not cool.
Why did you announce yourself to the world before you attack? Attack first.
Can't stay here.
It's like what Obi-Wan does in episode 3. Hello then. Like, just go in there and chop his head off before you say anything.
Yeah, I mean, remember when the Taliban claimed responsibility for 9/11, but they waited until after they actually did it first?
Yeah.
You good, man? Oh, we need to call MJ.
They didn't want Norm Macdonald taking credit.
I know where the meteorite is.
What a truly
MJ,
horrific tragedy.
We all need to meet up at May's house.
What's going on
Yeah,
out there,
rest in
guys?
peace, Norm.
It's the meteorite that the symbiote arrived in. He's using it to transform the city. I know where it is.
And we're gonna steal it. Time to game plan.
I'm in. See you guys at home.
And this is like the ending of an old RPG where the entire world gets completely like screwed up by the final boss, and you have to like go kill the final boss to restore the world. This is taking me back to like Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, and then you have to use the power of friendship to restore the world back to the way that it used to be before.
Or by farting. You can fart.
Yeah, I was just
fly
about to
around
say she farted one last time to set him off.
Listeners, I
As soon as you said Final Fantasy, I was like, and now I'm thinking of mowing the lawn.
lock the doors, board the windows.
Good God.
No one. The city is overrun with a miasma of massive, oppressive tendrils emanating from the ground beneath our feet, spawning creatures from what feels like hell itself. They're capturing us, converting us, and will soon overtake us. Don't give them the chance. While the government sits on its hands, my loyal listeners have taken to the forums, looking for any signs of weakness these creatures show. We will defend ourselves. We know we can't count on the Spider-Men to save us.
So I still have 15 more of these spider bots. That's not gonna happen. Did you finish the RoboCop game, by the way?
Yes, I finished RoboCop.
Nothing particularly earth-shattering.
They, near the end of the game, they did a ton of callbacks to previous RoboCop games. And they also did a fake out to make you think the game was over, but then it actually wasn't. But,
It's that the heroes
it was just okay.
worse, not better. In the meantime,
Yeah, the same studio that made RoboCop, they also participated in the making of one of the worst games this year. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of the four which are recognized as like the four worst games that have come out this year. Redfall, Lord of the Rings Gollum, that Avatar game that came out. I think it's called The Quest for Balance. And Kong Skull Island. It was one of those 4. The same studio did the RoboCop game.
Okay. Well, that new Walking Dead game is like a new contender, right? Like
Oh,
that kind of,
yeah, I forgot that one's up there too. It's really impressive how many bad games have come out this year compared to how many good games have come out this year. Because, I mean, there's obviously always going to be more bad things than good things, but these are some of the worst games that we've seen in years. And we haven't even seen games that are good for just any particular year, let alone, like, ever. Kinda wild in that sense to think about, you know?
I guess these studios just feel like shovelware crap like
Central
that makes
Park
money.
Reservoir.
The water system.
Pumping goo everywhere, adding more and more people to the hive mind.
Like, even if they only sell a
All
handful
those
of
symbiotes
copies,
get out of Manhattan.
Goodbye, Earth.
it must be profitable
Hello,
because they
Planet
keep
Goo.
doing this garbage.
The meteorite is the source of all the power.
Yeah, and I think, like,
Creating
Redfall is a good example of some of these studios are probably thinking that because of stuff like Game Pass,
And that particle
where people get the
accelerator's
chance
what
to play the
damaged it in
game
the
for
first
free, that they don't need to put as much effort in anymore.
Right, so what if we crank the power
Because
up?
they're just, by
Like
having
way
their game
past
on
weapon.
Game Pass, they're getting a share of profits
free, everyone connects
that
to
they
the
otherwise
hive
wouldn't be entitled to.
But that reservoir's gotta be mobbed with symbiotes.
It's definitely one of the
No
things I think is
Harry's not
going
gonna
on,
let
because
that
there's
rock
there's
out of
no
his
way
sight.
that this is just an accident that
Unless he
people are
sees
shooting
something
up
he
the
wants
places
more.
badly.
Me. Just, for illustrative purposes. Harry's still Harry. He thinks he's healing the world. But the dream isn't complete without...
His best friend beside him.
I can lead Harry away from the meteorite.
And I can handle all the symbiotes.
While I grab the space rock.
Oh shit,
For
Mary
illustrative
Jane's
purposes.
actually going to be part of the final plan
Fire
here
up
to
the
take down
accelerator.
Venom.
No more hive mind.
Oh, that's
World
fucking sad.
saved.
I hope I don't have to play
Leo
as
get
her.
churros?
Why is she biting her lower lip when she's looking at Miles? Like, Peter,
Connor
I
said
got
about
bad
him
news for
when
you,
we were
dude.
gone.
I think you've got a
If you
bigger
can't
problem
save him, are you
than
ready?
Venom right now.
Did an Israeli studio develop this game? Like, what the f?
Let's heal the world.
Good lord.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with drafting a punter.
meteorite is somewhere in
You don't want to do it too
So
high,
Harry
but
and his friends.
there's nothing wrong with drafting a punter if the punter is really good.
Figured you could use a sonic touch.
Yeah, like the Bills when they drafted Matt Araiza, that was a good move. Letting him go was not, especially since he was innocent. Free mind Najigba.
Look, I can't think.
Speaking of innocent, Derek Chauvin got stabbed in prison today.
We're the Spider Team.
I heard about that. Yes.
Won't anyone forget it?
And it comes a few days after the Supreme Court denied hearing his appeal. And I definitely think this is like a human sacrifice kind of situation. He's being martyred for the sins of racism.
Hey, buddy!
Apparently.
Pretty much.
You gonna sit in there and play with your pet rock all night? It's you and me, Harry. Like we always wanted.
When you think about it, is the Seahawks offense being so bad actually a galaxy-brain move? Because it allows our best player on the field more often. Like, if your punter's your best player, you just want to hurry up and get him on the field as much as possible, right?
You know, if the Seahawks had an Eagles caliber defense where they probably have the run defense plus
You're gonna have to catch me
pass rush, be a legitimate threat to score safety. And unironically, I think that would definitely be the case. That they're just like, okay, let's get the offense off the field. We're just looking for the best possible punting position. Pin him at the 1-yard line, and then Jalen man-ass Carter go get us a safety. Could you imagine if the team actually put together a roster that was designed for scoring safeties, and that was their game plan to win games?
Like some team that's planning on going 0-17 because they at least want to break a record for most safeties in one season.
Exactly, because there's no one way to win.
You wanted a story, Watson.
Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Not only am I playing as Mary Jane during this mission, I'm only playing as Mary Jane. Like, literally, the other Spider-Men are fighting in a cutscene, so I play as Mary Jane here.
Dead end.
That is absolutely nuts.
There has to be a way in.
That's a very interesting strategy. Is it going to work? Yellow growth. Oh, okay, there we go.
Whoever dropped these flares, I hope they made it out. What the hell? I'm coming!
Why do you have your backpack on?
Just
That's
hang
great.
on!
Dump it.
Oscorp. Guess they left more than just flares behind. Good, not good. Not leaving without that rock. Another dead end. Meteorite. Gotta get down there. Oh no, very bad.
Crazy thing is, it wasn't that long ago that the Seahawks actually beat some good teams this year. Like, we beat the Lions in Detroit. We beat Cleveland. So it's not like we're the Cowboys only beating up terrible teams. It's crazy.
Right.
Quickly, everything just went south.
The meteorite's connected.
And
Yeah, right.
that's another thing that I try to bring up to get guys to be like, okay, calm down a little bit, you know, the season's not over yet. Is that, in my opinion, the only two really out-of-hand losses you've had this season has been against the Ravens and against the Niners. Sucks to have had those two losses against the Rams also, but that loss against the Bengals, that was razor fucking close, man. Like, you just need the ball going just the right way a couple more times, and then that's a win instead of a loss. And it's definitely heartbreaking, but the season feels like it's so close. They've been going in a completely different direction where people will be talking about the Seahawks as one of the top teams in the league also.
Just a normal rock.
Which is why I feel like it's not ready to it's not time to panic yet. But I say all that not being a Seahawks fan, so it doesn't hurt as much when you lose games like you did yesterday. But at the same time, I get it, you know, because like that loss to the Seahawks or to the Niners yesterday would feel to you guys the same way that the loss to the Bills felt to me. Except it's a little worse because that was a road game and you guys lost at home.
They're gonna be all over
But
me.
still, hated division rival. A game you really fucking wish that you could have won, and instead, you know, it wasn't really close. And you're just like, damn. Why did we even bother?
Literally turning into Last of Us 2. You're playing as a small woman
Feels
with
alive.
a gun shooting at zombies. Like, this is...
Gotta get out of here.
They literally looked at Last of Us Part 2 and go, yeah, we want that from Spider-Man.
I mean, you're really on the nose there. I mean, you're playing as a small woman who has a gigantic jawline.
Gotta get this rock back. It's game over.
This is just like... No, but seriously, I hate a lot of these tropes in modern games.
Please let this
Not
not tell Mark.
enjoyable. Blech.
At least you have a gun, which makes it better than the first Spider-Man. But also, Mary Jane was much more attractive in the first Marvel Spider-Man game. Like in this one, like I don't know why they gave she looks like she got plastic surgery
Just past that chopper.
in the couple of years between the first game and this game.
Up that ladder and I'm in the clear.
Oh God, I have to fight one of these things as Mary Jane? Oh my lord.
You got the kid. I can't go for the ladder with this thing still on me. Big guy. I should crank up the volume. Hey, I think that hurt it. Let's get the hell out of here. Time to go, Miles!
You ready?
Alright, finally we might get to play as the Spider-Man for a few minutes here.
Pretty sure your +1 isn't invited to our high school reunion, Harry! Harry!
This is where we became best friends.
Yeah, it is.
And now it's where we become brothers. Join us.
Please, remember everything we've been through! Did you forget about Flash kicking our asses for 4 years?
We were weak then.
But we had each other! What is he doing?
Enough! Join us.
Please, remember everything we've been through. Did you forget about Flash kicking our asses for 4 years?
We were weak then.
But we had each other. Gotta stay off the ground. What is he doing?
After everything we've done.
Yeah, Wemby doesn't even have to jump to get it to the rim and dump it. How is he shooting
Please,
43%?
remember everything we've been through.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, and like it makes you, because you brought up Yao earlier, it makes Yao seem so much more special to have been a super tall giant and then to actually have been capable. And it's because he actually had the body to be able to play around the basket. That's what makes Jokic so fucking good, is that he has the ability to take advantage of smaller defenders and shoot. So many of these guys, it's one or the other. Wemby right now is so rail thin and fucking tiny, he cannot get to the basket. He's getting bullied by guys half his size.
Get caught in that stuff again.
And all he can do is just chuck up shots, and he's not getting good looks either. Like the country says, only 627 from 3. You know, everyone's talking about what a great jump shooter he was, being as tall as he was, and fucking he can't even get that right. Like, his offense is broken, his passing is awful. He's got to be leading the league in turnovers, or at least be up there.
No way he would have more turnovers than the guy who plays the point guard style.
I'm gonna check right now, but it's got to be up there. Because he turns the ball over so much, it's outrageous. Yeah, he is top 10. Leaders in turnovers. Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LaMelo Ball, Kevin Durant, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, Domantas Sabonis, and Victor Wembanyama. Every single one of those guys mentioned has at least 3.5 turnovers per game.
Slept over after your mom got sick.
We couldn't feel that.
The fact that LeBron's turning it over so much is kind of nuts. He's averaging 4 turnovers a game. What the fuck? Kevin Durant's turning it over 4 times a game. Giannis is turning it over 4 times a game. What the hell is happening? Matter of fact, Giannis has as many turnovers per game as assists per game. Wasn't Lillard supposed to fix this? The country brings up a good point. Let me check. Can't check on ESPN's website. I have to see Basketball Reference for that advanced stat, but I'm going to check if that's correct. Okay, his Victor Wembanyama's usage percentage is 30. 30.3%. Oh, now, I'm literally gonna check that right now. Leaders for the
God!
league leader right now is Joel Embiid, and he's not so much higher than Wemby, actually. Wemby is 16th in the league in usage percentage. Leaders right now, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kevin Durant, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, Cam Thomas, Nikola Jokic, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Kuzma, Kate Cunningham, Brandon Ingram, Victor Wembanyama. So it's kind of fucking nuts that Wembanyama's usage percentage is so much lower than guys who had higher turnovers than him, but his turnover rate is so. Matter of fact,
When you lost her, that day on the football field, I was there. Always have been.
that's pretty much what I figured.
You abandoned us while we were fighting for our lives.
I was trying to save you.
Is an outrageously high turnover percentage. Yeah, Wemby's turnover percentage numbers are really high compared to how many minutes he's playing. There are a lot of guys with higher percentages, but then they're playing much less minutes, so it's skewed in that sense. But he's turning over a ton.
Why do you keep fighting us?
South Carolina women's team won by 82.
Symbiote's dropping.
Well, the only question I have is this. Were they actually all women playing on that team?
It's not working.
Because losing by 82 makes a lot more sense if, like, there was someone... Yeah.
Stay calm.
One team had someone who was stunning and brave.
Free Harry with more anti-venom.
Randy Moss does do.
Why do you keep fighting us?
You're not giving me a choice. Whoa, symbiote's dropping in. Not working. Gotta get in close.
We know what's best for you, for everyone. We gave you everything you ever wanted, and you threw us away.
I should have been better. I'm so sorry.
Then you replaced us with lies. Poisoned you against us even more.
No! He saved me! Just like I'll save you! your head, Harry! You're my best friend!
Then why don't you trust us?
I trust you, Harry! Not that thing you're wearing!
We are not a thing.
Or these guys? Brute force isn't working! Gotta be a better way! Get free Harry with more anti-venom! Now or never!
Kristoff takes a lot of threes, though, Big Country. Like, he's really a perimeter shooter, so that doesn't surprise me that much.
Not only that, but Porzingis is probably going to have a really good season this season, because in the past, he's been the first option or the second option, and defenses have to scheme and game plan specifically for him. But right now, he's a tertiary player, and he's getting a lot better look than he's been getting his whole career already this season. Because Jason Tatum takes up attention, Jaylen Brown takes up attention. He really gets the opportunity when actually in the space. Did Venom seriously just sprout wings? What the fuck is this game?
I think the goo aliens are mad we took their stuff.
What would have been funny is if he sprouted wings and then they didn't do anything and just started flapping them. And,
Oh man, that would have been hilarious. He's just like, look at how cool I am.
And what Mary Jane just pulled off there, it was like a pro gamer move. Like crashed her motorcycle while jumping off of it, and somehow just
Impressive. She's definitely playing like a protagonist.
He's okay, right?
Let's just get him out of here. Go, Miles, I've got him. Go!
When the hell did he get wings?
Yeah, he actually is going to like one of the angels.
You're not getting this rock, man!
Our future doesn't
All
belong
this
to
is
you.
missing is like
Trust me! Don't want your future!
BGM with like
I made a promise, Mary, that I'd fight for you!
You don't know us.
I know you talked to your mom, just like I talked to my dad. Remember? What's she saying right now?
We are so close.
Cool stuff, slow him down. I'm not gonna let Pete down, Harry.
He'll understand. This is his dream, too.
Sorry, Harry. Heard enough about this nightmare.
Wait, Warren Sapp is a coach now?
Miles!
Peter doesn't need you anymore.
Oh god, you just tried to tase Venom.
He has us now.
At least it didn't work. That would have been funny as hell. Like, that's how Venom would chase him. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances.
You're not doing this for Pete. You're doing this for yourself.
You're holding Pete back. You took him away from us.
Took him away. What the hell are you talking about?
In the forest, we remember what you did.
Harry! Man, that's the symbiote talking, not you!
You were jealous. That's why you pushed us apart.
Maybe I was, but Pete wasn't Pete!
Of our way.
Damn.
You're not doing this for Pete, you're doing this for yourself!
You're holding Pete back. You took him away from us.
Took him away! What the hell are you talking about?
In the forest, we remember what you did.
Harry! Man, that's the symbiote talking, not you!
You were jealous. That's why you pushed us apart.
Maybe I was, but Pete wasn't Pete!
You think you're better than us, don't you?
This ain't about who's better! I just prefer you without the psycho alien on! Need to hit him with more blue sparks. Doesn't matter if you like me or not. I'm here for you. Thought I clipped his wings. Need to get up to him. You can't see it now, but we're not so different, man.
without you. We all are.
Shit.
The symbiote doesn't care about you! Come on, man! We can fight this thing together! Let's end this!
Alright guys, I think we're just about to finish off Venom, so I'm going to take a quick break before we do. See you guys soon.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's finish this up. I think I was going to be able to beat the game tonight, so assuming that I'm about to, that's pretty good.
We gave you our chance.
Allie!
That easy? All I had to do was put one of those sonic grenades in his mouth?
Harry!
Pete?
fucking joke. It's fucking.
Keep doing that. Just start giving him sonic grenade suppository.
Jumbo enema.
Why am I punching him in the face? I did that 8 million times during the boss fight, and it didn't work.
What's happening? Just hang on, buddy! Please. No. Leave him alone. Go, Miles!
You ready to finish this?
Almost. Fight, Harry! Fight! I can't. I'm done. You have to. Kill us.
I mean, here's the thing. Harry is almost dead of a terminal disease, so even if you save him from Venom, he's going to die anyway. You need to be pragmatic with it.
Harry! Please!
Apparently Theo is like super broke, so you could use her work.
I'm pretending surprised.
I'm done. Either way, Pete. We still have time? No, we don't. It'll kill them. And then it'll kill you. Let's heal the world, Pete. Together.
I hope I don't have to do a button count right now. I'm like,
We're in business! Now, Pete! Now! MJ!
actually did it. Now he can die of cancer. Now he can slowly and painfully die of cancer instead of you mercy killing him. Well done, Peter. We saved the city.
I love you.
Wow, that's gay. And that's the fucking way they ended it. I'm surprised that he kept trying to talk to Harry to make the Venom symbiote go away from Harry's face so that they could talk to each other. And instead he tried to make the Venom symbiote go away from his ass so that he could touch his
They're just like started making out with Harry. If the Venom symbiote isn't gay, he'll jump out of Harry so he doesn't have to kiss a guy, right?
Exactly. It's fucking foolproof.
We did it!
Yeah.
Oh, that explains everything. I could have been disappointed from the start. I was not aware Ridley Scott isn't only English.
Sorry.
He's actually so English that he's been knighted.
Oh, really?
He's Sir Ridley Scott. Yeah, so pretty obvious why Napoleon fans are not exactly over the moon regarding the film, and why I'm seeing the complaints that I'm seeing. And fucking all of it clicks now.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I gotta try.
Oh, shit. Wait, Harry's dead anyway? All that shit I did and Harry just fucking... Cool. Now you're awake to die of cancer.
Excellent.
Or whatever the hell it is you have.
AIDS.
Thank you. Gotta get
He's got AIDS.
Man, I just realized I have an unban request from 4 months ago.
4 months ago?
I did not realize it was there until just now.
Damn. Who even is it?
Somebody who started posting some really weird gay stuff in the chat. I got sick of it. 206, I think is his name.
Oh man, that's good.
He's like, I met Brendan at a gay bar one time, and I'm like, okay. It's funny the first time you say it, maybe, but you keep saying the same kind of thing over and over again.
Harry.
It doesn't
Pulse is weak. We
stay
gotta move.
funny very long.
What have you done? What have you done?
Yeah, I gotta say, this fucking picture of Conor McGregor reading the newspaper that says TND becomes the law is like one of my favorite pictures I've seen in my life. Oh god.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There are traces of brain activity, but
I love
his chances of coming back are very slim.
All right, Harry's in a coma.
Just keep him alive.
All right. Do 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 do.
He has keeping him on ice for the sequelitis.
Seriously. Oh, I know what they're gonna do. Now Eddie Brock will be an even bigger villain because they can't have the traditional conflict because obviously Peter's not a reporter for whatever repeated reason. So instead, Eddie Brock's gonna be like, wow, I wish I had that Venom suit. That'd make me super strong and stuff. So then he'll like sneak in and kill Harry and then steal the symbiote.
Get the G serum ready. ASAP.
The G serum. What is this? Resident Evil?
The G stands for Goblin.
For the last few years, tragedy has tried to tear the city apart. But we somehow kept
That's
going.
unreal. The exact same
We
idea
battled
that I came up
sickness,
with
evil.
is like a better idea than them making Harry Venom.
We are tired.
Is exactly what they
anxious,
ended up going with
stressed,
as a desperate excuse to
numb.
save Harry's life after they already made him
But we
Venom.
have never lost hope.
Man,
city
that's
needs
just
to
fucking
heal.
lazy.
We're all ready to return to normal, but what is normal? What if it no longer exists?
Well, the moment of truth definitely is going to be tomorrow.
Over the last half hour, I've talked about how these events
It's
have
the
changed.
first game that the Thunder will play since all this
about
Josh
you?
Giddey stuff started coming out.
In this
So if he
ongoing
plays,
series, I will be
then
talking with people
yeah,
throughout
it's a
the city,
nothing burger.
exploring our new behaviors, new routines,
But if he's
new
not playing,
thoughts
then
and feelings. I hope you'll join me on this
Uh-oh.
journey. This has been Mary Jane Watson, and you're listening to The New Normal.
Oh god, she started a podcast. I need to break up with this woman immediately.
yes, seriously. It's a short fucking step from podcast to OnlyFans. You're gonna end up being a model anyway, just not the kind we thought. Oh god.
Episode 1, done.
Nice.
I don't know. Are these good to go?
As someone who runs a
wanna show you
mildly successful YouTube channel, trust me, it takes
Has
like
molasses
5
in it.
years to build up any kind of a viewer base
I'll
that
take those.
resonates in the slightest. Like, she is going to be eating like sawdust infused biscuits for 5 years before she even sees a penny of this. I
Yeah,
think
unless you take shortcuts by accidentally, quote unquote, showing your asshole during the podcast. Oh, oops. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, but she's
My
not
bad.
attractive. But she's not attractive.
She's attractive in that universe because the self-insert of the writer wanted her to be considered attractive. Now, to actual humans playing this game, she's monstrously ugly.
Pete.
I mean, she looks like an ogre. You fucking said it the other day. It was absolutely hilarious when you said it. She needed to wear the symbiote to become attractive. And the fucking symbiote actually made her attractive by smoothing out her jaw. Oh my god.
Have you talked to Miles about?
Not yet.
You ready?
Miles. I've been meaning to talk to you about something. I mean, I have been talking to you all the time. It's great to talk. So many good talks. I just haven't been talking to you about what I should have been talking to you about.
Pete.
Wait, let me start again.
I got this. All of it. Go be Peter Parker for a while.
Are you sure? It's a big city.
I can handle it. As long as I can still call you for advice.
You don't need it.
Maybe not now, but there'll come a time.
I'm here for you. Always.
Big bro.
Whoa, thought status patrol. Unbelievable. Guy says the most you should spend on a date is start with $200 and then subtract the girl's weight.
Well, in this game, unlike the first Spider-Man game, at the end, after beating the villain and overcoming all obstacles in my way, I was rewarded with Redhead Pussy, but this time I didn't want it.
Seriously. Thinking about Harry's tight little man asshole. Jesus Christ.
Alright, so that is Marvel Spider-Man 2. We have beaten another game.
Thank heavens.
Let's see here. I have now, I believe, beaten 589 games in my life, if I'm counting correctly.
Nice.
The actual number may be closer to like 600 because there are probably some dinky little mobile games I played that I'm not listing that technically would count, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Man, I totally forgot that Kraven was the main villain of that game for a while. He completely, like, he basically got chased off stage by a bear. When you think about it, he just disappeared. I have the mobile games on my list that I think are of some degree of substance, like beating them actually means something. Not, I tapped the A button over and over and over again while reading dialogue. Yep. So whenever they make Marvel's Spider-Man 3, they've still got the Green Goblin and Hobgoblin up their buttholes to use as villains. They have not utilized those yet, but they can't do Scorpion because they killed him in this game after one scene. They can't do Mysterio. And from the first game, who were the villains? Let me check here. Okay, they did Wilson Fisk, Silver Sable, Doc Ock, Electro, Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion, and bit parts. They could probably expand on them a little bit if they really wanted to. Okay, so next time I stream, it is probably going to be Doom Eternal. I'm excited for that. I think I've seen that before, Stan.
Yeah. This one right here is wild. In the 1960s, one neighborhood in San Francisco had the lowest income, the highest unemployment rate, the highest proportion of families with incomes under $4,000 a year, the least educational attainment, the highest tuberculosis rate, and the highest proportion of substandard housing. That neighborhood was Chinatown. Yet, in 1965, there were only 5 persons of Chinese ethnicity in prison in the entire state of California. So anyone who tells you that it's about economic factors is full of shit. Oh man.
Uh-oh. Mid-credit scene. What do we have here? What in the name of Green Goblins do we have here?
What do you want?
Oh, Doc Ock. What's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a minute.
The Spider-Men. You know who they are, don't you?
Why?
They ruined my son.
Good.
I forgot they made Doc Ock look like a pedophile
We
in this
all
game.
have
Goddamn.
to experience loss.
He looks like Subway
Even
Jared.
you, Norman.
Cheers.
What are you writing?
The final chapter.
Okay, so I would say that was a fun experience. I don't really like where they took that game in terms of story and universe. The game itself is fine. I'll do a full review probably sometime tomorrow. So, what's next? What are your plans tomorrow? Bible training today.
Desperately try to work and hope to make up for how awful these last few weeks have been. 'Cause I'm like, I have 5 days to deliver 60 orders, which could be possible. But if I can't do it, then I don't get to be a top dasher next month. Which would be very upsetting.
So, sounds like you need to like game the system a little bit here. You need to like plant people out in the city to place DoorDash orders.
Say the day with a flick of the wrist. Work together, give each other assists. You don't see me coming, I'm a plot twist. Senses are tingling, we find a feeling and get the tag team and I'm leaving fake. Take it for what I'm believing in. I know my destiny greater than this. We got a bond and no evil can break forever. My bro, at the end of the day, this bigger than us. We got too much at stake. I'm good by myself, but together we great. Putting my life on the line for the citizens. See all the angles I'm weaving and pivoting. Then I'm drop kicking a criminal idiot. I recognize the playground at the city is. Feel like a jungle gym, feel like I'm juggling. Sky full of turbulence, street keep on rumbling.
ASL consultation.
It's me and my buddy, we ain't gonna be struggling. Now you take the left and I take the right. We taking the chances and rolling the dice. Sticking with you like your uncle's advice. Trusting my instincts, I'm not thinking twice. I know my enemy's not gonna play nice, so I'ma give it my all every time. Let go of fear, it's just all in your mind. Surprise what you find if you just look inside. Carpe the diem, now you on the night, but you gotta decide to fight or to fly. You doing what's right, it's bigger than pride. Really no limit with friends by your side.
My senses bouncing off a wall, evil lurking every day. Yeah, I don't ever need to call, I can feel it right away. Slim chance to beat the odds, but I always find a way. You were never just a nobody, go get them tigers, swing it up in the way.
Yeah, didn't Popovich double down on that too? I read something about that. Pretty weird.
I'm gonna Google it right now. Steve Kerr weighed in on the thing and said something fucking retarded. He said booing should be selective. I think there should be a general rule that if a guy helps your franchise win a championship, he should never be booed in your building. What a crock of shit.
Yeah, that's definitely not ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, should Richard Sherman never have gotten booed when he fucking went to the Niners of all places?
Yeah, what about fucking, like, LeBron playing in Miami again? Like,
That would be very hilarious if he went back.
no, I mean when he plays in Miami as the road team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bronny will be the most undeserved drafted player ever, I think. Like, he's literally going to play 0 minutes of college basketball and then still get drafted.
Oh, in that sense, yes. I thought you meant that he was going to get drafted way higher than he ever deserved. And I was literally in the middle of Googling it. Austin Rivers was drafted 10th overall.
I mean, Austin Rivers was
think
pretty good in college, is the thing. Like, at least he played in
well,
college.
in that sense, yeah, fair enough. But 2012 NBA draft. I'm gonna see who's still on the board when Austin Rivers got taken. Right after Austin Rivers got taken was the Myers Leonard. So obviously, no. I remember Royce White. Actually, talent kind of fell off a cliff at that point. That was not a deep draft. It had Draymond Green and Chris Middleton in the second round, but like most of the guys in the first round sucked ass. Fab Melo's dead, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He died at 26 years old. Had a heart attack and died in his sleep at 26.
Let's see here. credits are almost done here.
Been going for like what, half an hour?
Most credits in modern games take about that long, though. That's not anything new, I don't think. Who's FSU playing again? Are they playing Louisville, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Miami. Oh, Florida. Yeah, maybe big country. I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that right now. I would assume if we lose to Oregon, we don't get in. Unless I guess FSU loses to Florida. That'd be nice. Yeah, Texas could lose, but I'm not really thinking that much about Texas as a real threat. I don't know. I don't think they're that good. Oh. After credits. Wait, are Miles and Peter living together now?
That's disgusting.
His house isn't even that big.
Haley, hi. I hope you're hungry. Food's almost ready. Why don't you go show her your essay? He worked so hard on it.
All these people learn sign language. Like, goddamn. Maybe it's easier than I think, and there's some rhyme or reason to it, but, like, fuck me if I could ever learn that shit.
Some guy in Harlem. Probably seen him volunteering in the city, helping out his city council mom, and trying to live up to his hero dad. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow they were completely unable to recruit anything.
Yeah.
Around Cam Ward this offseason, which is surprising because he did show some genuine promise last year. I like him. Okay, they're not living together. All right. I don't know why I thought that for a second.
Hi. Miles, Haley, this is Albert.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Oh, and this is my daughter, Cindy.
Oh shit, menage a trois. Let's go. Oh, the game's gonna end now, right when things are about to get good? You have finished the main story, but both Peter and Miles are still available to continue the adventure. You can now start a fresh adventure with ultimate difficulty. But Peter retired from
What's
being
up, New
Peter
York?
Parker. Or Spider-Man,
Looks
excuse
like
me.
someone needs help at Brooklyn Visions.
Doesn't even make any sense. I'll come out of retirement
Don't
to
fail.
help
But you're my favorite
save a cat up a tree. Oh god, it's the homecoming dance. Help dude ask out on date with him. It's asking me to do it. I know exactly where I can tell this game to shove it. Alright guys, thanks for coming out and watching. That was fun. We beat the game. And yeah, next game we start will probably be Doom Eternal. See you guys later on.